Hello and welcome back to another video from Real Therapy Fishing. Today we're going to be making the Wessex rig. So this is what we're going to be making today. I've had to curl it up to get it into picture, but this is what it is. It's quite a simple rig. You've got basically a little bit of a mini running ledger with the 2.0 hook and your secondary 2.0 hook there. So the idea of this rig is to keep your baits nailed hard to the seabed, and that's why we've got one upper rig and one lower rig. I'm now going to show you how to make a rig like this for yourselves. Okay, so these are the components you're going to need for this rig. We've got some crimps. I think these are 1.2mm crimps, some oval beads, the old trusty swivels, some more round beads. Again, the beads are really optional as to what beads you want for this rig, so it can be any beads you want. A tape measure to measure the rig out, to if you obviously want to follow this film exactly, then I'll be giving measurements along the way. Some Asso Ultraflex 60-pound mono. Pair of scissors. I mean, again, these are just snippers. You can use an ordinary pair of scissors, just something to cut your line, and a pair of pliers. And these pair of pliers will do the crimping as well, which I'll show you a bit later. Okay, so what I've done here is approximately set the tape measure to 800mm, and this would be our first measurement for the rig. Okay, so all I'm going to do is get my line. This is that, if anybody's wondering. All I'm going to do is get my line, measure from the bottom of the tape measure to 800mm. Hold it with my thumb and snip it off there. So that's our first measurement done. So I'm now going to measure for our two hooks, which are 400mm, so half the size. I'm going to cut that one there, and do a secondary one. It doesn't have to be exact, guys, it's just a rough estimate, but I'm just giving this to you so the people that are new and have never tied this rig before can at least get some idea of what the measurements are. Okay, so it's a bit hard to see, but there are our three pieces that we've just cut. So the tape measure and the line can go away for now. We won't be needing those anymore. So we've got our 800mm piece here, and the first thing I'm going to do is grab a swivel and tie this on. Using the exact same knot as the last two. So just take your tag end underneath the main line, form a loop, do the exact same thing again, underneath, form a loop, and then pass the tag end through those two loops you've just made, and then tighten it up. I like to use a pair of pliers on my swivel, like so, just to get that nice and tight. And you know that definitely ain't going to come off then. Snip our tag end off, leaving a little bit there showing. Okay, so we've got our swivel there and the rest of the line. The other tag end I'm going to be putting on a crimp, like so. An oval bead, again you can put on any bead you want. This is just my personal preference because it works well for me. A swivel, like so. Another green bead, and to finish it up, another crimp. just like so. So that's there. So that's what it should look like when you've added all the components. And now we're going to crimp them up. So to crimp them, you want to be quite close to the top of the swivel. There's the top of the swivel there. Going to crimp them just with a pair of pliers. You can use a proper crimp, but a pair of pliers just works just as well. Try and get it in focus for you. There you go. So that there is exactly what you should have, and the rest of your line completely and utterly free. So all you're going to need for this is the other end of the line. We're going to put on a crimp, feed that onto the line. I'm going to use these beads again. You can use these, or you can use any beads you want. I just prefer these because they're nice and small. Add one of those. Now you could add one of these zip sliders, but personally, to keep the rig nice and small, I just like to add a little swivel. It basically acts as the exact same purpose. You can still slide up and down. Finish it off with one bead, just so it's either side of that swivel, stop it from rubbing. And then we won't bother putting a crimp on the end here. What we're going to do is we're going to tie up another swivel onto the end. So I'll do that now. In camera there for you. So under twice, loop it over, put the tag end through the 2 loops. That's how it should look. Tighten it up. Get your pliers. Tighten it up nice and tight. And then snip off your tag end. So what you should have is your swivel, 2 beads, your rig, your crimp, 2 beads and a swivel. And what we're going to do is we're going to crimp this bead about 3 or 4 inches from the swivel. Just crimp it there, just so the weight can just slide a little bit. So that's all we've got. To this down swivel, one thing I did forget to mention is you can add a little lead link. These are the new ones we've been using. We find them quite good so far. They're a lot stronger than the old ones we used to use. We used to use ones like this, where they just open up, but we tend to find they used to break right at that knuckle there. So we've moved on to the much stronger lead clips, which are those ones. So this part of the rig is now done. We can coil that up and put that to the side. So we've got our 2 pieces of line that was cut at 400mm. And again, something else I forgot to mention is you're going to need 2 hooks. So I'm just going to use 2/0s for this demonstration, and 2/0s are really what we'd use. I mean, the bottom one you can mix it up again and put 1/0s on the top, 2/0s on the bottom, or 2/0s on the top, 6/0s at the bottom. Basically you can just customise the rig however you want to do it. Basically exact same knot. Tighten that up nice, snip that off. That's one length for the trace done. Just going to tie the other hook. So pass this line underneath, make a loop, underneath again, make a loop, put your tag end through the 2 loops you've just made. Couldn't really be any simpler, that knot. What I like to do is just hold the hook with the pair of pliers as well, just to get that nice bit of leverage. And again, snip off our tag end. So that's those 2 made. all we're going to do now is bring back our rig. So now that's tangled itself. Untangle that, and we're going to add our hooks to this swivel here. So that's obviously your lead link. We're going to add it to this swivel here, and one to this swivel here, that one. So we'll do this one first. We'll get one of the hook lengths, pass it through the swivel. Sorry guys, get it in focus. Try exactly the same. Pass it through. Do it up nice and tight. And snip off our tag end. And our last one here. The exact same. And you can get quite quick at this knot once you know how to do it. It's one of the beauties of this knot. So there we have the completed rig. So all that's left to do is to add your weight to the lead clip like we've done over there. So just grab your lead, and this really is simple with these lead links. Put it onto there and pull it on. And there we have the completed Wessex rig. So we've got a hook, our lead weight coming down, so that slides a little bit, and obviously the rod would be come down here with the line, and that connects straight onto there. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that short little process on how to make the Wessex rig. A very useful rig for sea fishing, great for nailing it hard down onto the bottom, because you've got your lead weight, and obviously that'll be straight on the seabed, and then you've got your two hooks, one there and one there, which is obviously a little bit different than a 2-hook flapper, because you'll have your lead weight and then you'd have a hook coming off there, and then obviously a hook coming off there. So this one here is floating right up in the air. So that there's a brilliant rig. Catch plenty of bass on that, and of course other species. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope it's been useful. Tune back in again next Saturday morning for another video. See you soon.